So guys, here we are once again. Welcome to my channel. We've got obviously this project going on with Turbo's car right about now. There's a few things that we've already done on it, as we've showed in the videos in the past. There's something new that he wants done now, and all he wants basically done is he wants to upgrade his sound system. So earlier we changed his original head unit to one of the Android, you know, like an aftermarket head unit that he bought off eBay or wherever he got it from, and we've obviously already installed that, so we showed you that in the previous video. Now what he wants is he wants to put a subwoofer in his car. Original speakers that are in the doors and stuff like that are not too bad, so he's actually okay with them. And to be honest with you, I don't think they're that bad. It all depends on how much you want to go with your system. But Turbo, all he wants is a bit more extra bass, because when he pops the bass up on his stereo and he's listening to some of his tunes, it's always like distorting and stuff, and he thinks he wants a bit more bass. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be installing a bass box in his car basically, so an amp and a bass box. Bass box we've bought off eBay. It's just a normal little 8-inch bass box. It's nothing special, it's just something that's going to give him a bit more bass, but we'll check it out, we'll have a look how what that bass is. So here, this is the bass box here. One second. So this is a bass box we've got. It's a JL Audio. It's an 8-inch subwoofer, or it's no, sorry, get that wrong, it's a 10-inch subwoofer. So we're just going to be installing one of these in his car, and we've got a pile amp that we've bought from eBay as well. So we're going to be sticking that pile amp in as well. So this is what the pile amp looks like. So this is the pile amp. So it's nothing special. This is the amp right here. So it's a 1400 watt amp, right, which has got 2 channels on it, and it will be more than enough for his subwoofer. His subwoofer's around about 800 watts. That's not RMS power, by the way, that's a max power output that they have in there, but I think it will be more than enough for his VW Golf for what he wants. So stay tuned and we'll give you a few shots how we get this. So this is what we're going to be doing. Obviously the boot's all open, everything, most of the work is going to be working through the boot. We're going to get his bass box in there and we're going to fit the amp in. So here we'll be sticking his bass box, and inside there we'll be sticking the amp. So this is where the bass box is going to go, and the amp is going to be fitted to the back of that seat, just there. So this is where we're going to be connecting his amp to. There's obviously 4 slots of holes here that we're going to be doing. So all we're going to do is we're going to drill into this plate, and the back of this seat is metal. So if you have got an electric seat or anything like that, it's always worthwhile to check what's inside there. So all we're going to use is a Makita drill with a drill bit, which is full metal. We're going to stick a hole in each place there. We're going to stick this on. So here we have an amp wiring kit. It's something that Turbo ordered over online. It's compatible for the amp that he ordered, because we obviously done, when he ordered it, we made sure that the compatibility and the wattage, the output that the amp gives, we've got to make sure we've got the right wiring. So it's pretty simple wiring for the amp that he's got. We've got a ground wire which is going to the ground chassis of the car. We've got a phono cable, and we've got a remote cable which is for the ignition, and the other one that we have is a power cable. Now this power cable is going to be going from the engine bay battery, so this side will connect to the battery, and this will run through the car. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get this cable fed straight through, because that's actually what's going to take a long time. Right guys, so as I said, the power cable is going to go from the battery back down to the amp. So we're getting this wire pushed through this bulkhead. It's going to get pushed through there, and it's going to pop out on the other side just under the footwell. So guys, as you can see, that's the location it's gone through. All we used was a screwdriver, a few pictures to follow. Now we'll carry on with the inside of it. Majority of this work is done. All we need to do is, once it's all connected, we need to finalize it by sticking that onto the power cable, which is just there. And once that's done, we're ready to get tested. So now what we've got, the power cables fed through, so that's all done. That's going to be going all the way to the back of the car. We're going to run it along the car. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get these phono cables and this remote wire fed through. We're going to take his stereo out. We're going to feed it through and we're going to connect it up to the stereo. So keep watching and we'll see where we get. We've taken his stereo unit out. We've got the phono wires through. They're connected to the front out phono. And now we have this little wire that I was talking about earlier on, is for the amp. This basically controls the amp. When the stereo comes on, the amp comes on. When the stereo goes off, the amp will go off. It's really important we do that, because if you put it on a wire that's positive constantly all the time, then all that will happen is the amp will just drain the battery while you're not using the car. So I've got my little wire testers here. I've checked this cable that's coming through and it is saying that it's for the amp connector. So if we just connect that onto the here, we'll test it, and basically if it works, that's where we're going to be connecting this. So as you see, it's connected on, lights flashing. We turn it all off. After a few seconds it should go off. There we go, it's gone off. And we'll turn the key back on and it comes on. So next part of it, obviously we've got all the wires going to the back of there. It's pretty simple. It's behind the carpet, you know, nicely tucked away so you can't see them. Next part of it is we want to get these cables running down through the doors here on the sills. It's pretty easy. Just going to run it down, push them through all the way through to the back, and hopefully to the back end we'll have the other side of this, which is these cables here. So as you guys can see, the next part was to get the wires through, which we already have. We've got the earth connected, we've got the phono wiring, we've got them all connected to the amp. As you have a look, so we've got the ground in the ground, we've got the remote in the remote, the positive in the positive. We've also connected the battery up, so we've got live feed. Just to double check it again, we're to connect our little wire tester up, connect it to the positive, negative, we've got a light, negative to the positive, we've got a light. So obviously it won't have any power to it at the moment because the car is off, but we're going to turn the car on now and we're going to see if we get any power. So if you come onto this side, you have a look, we've got power. So basically jobs are good. So now it's going to come down to getting the actual subwoofer connected. So we've got a speaker wire here. It's got a little red line on it. We have to make sure that we are a little black line, sorry, but we have to make sure that when we're connecting this, we're connecting them to the right positive and the right negative. So I'm going to use the black line as my guide. I'm going to be using the black line as a positive, which is the red wire. It's going to go onto the positive one here and the red connection onto the speaker. Okay. Now Turbo's car subwoofer is done. The amp is now working, the subwoofer is working, the wires have been chased through into the car as well, so that's all good. I've never done a Mark 6 Golf before, so it's taken a little bit longer than usual. I've done a Mark 4 Golf, so that's a little bit different to this one. This has got a little bit more work that we have to do to make sure that we get the wires in the right place and we get the connections right as well. So it's all good, it's all working. We've tested it on and off. We've tried it with the stereo, we've tried the subwoofer. There's a few adjustments we're going to do to the sub, obviously, just to tweak it up to make sure it's running nice with the speakers out in the car. But that's how it is when you're doing an amp wiring kit and all you want is a little bit extra bass in your car on a Mark 4 Golf, Mark 6 Golf, then that's how you basically do it. I hope it's helped for the guys that didn't understand, didn't know how to do it. I hope it's helped you guys. And in the near distance future, if there's anything that you want to ask me, I'm not really fully qualified electrician or anything, but these are the basic things that anyone can really do from their house. So we ordered all the stuff off eBay, we got the wiring that was in his car, so we took that out from his previous car and we've all just kitted it up back onto this one. So as far as his stereo system is now concerned, it's all done. We're just going to do a final few adjustments to the car to make sure it's all finished up. So guys, whoever's been watching, please like, subscribe and share. Stay tuned, because there's going to be a few other things that we're going to be doing on this car. There's also, that's basically the project, the little thing that we're doing for turbo. So thank you very much for watching. Peace out.